Hey, guys, this is Thom Mathews, and you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com. Stay tuned.
All right, and welcome to Without Your Head Horror Radio. I am Nasty Neil Jones, along with my right-hand man.
Oh, that would make me Jittery John.
And my left-hand man.
And that would make me Terrible Troy.
Ah, the left hand, the sinister hand.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for the left hand. That's the one that'll catch you off guard.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
never expect.
I guess we're joined by my middle hand man. I don't know, but we've got Michael Perez here with us, the executive producer of More Brains. Return to the Living Dead. It's like the definitive documentary for Return of the Living Dead, and I watched it, and it is awesome. I'm a big fan of the movie in the first place, and the documentary. It just it's got pretty much like everyone that's been in the movie. And it's just, it's a great watch for any fans of the film, any zombie fans, any fans of documentaries. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. And you can get the DVD at GetMoreBrains.com. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's everybody else?
I'm doing good.
Pretty
Excellent.
good.
All right. Well, we can't argue with that. So it sounds like a perfect night.
Exactly. Now, how long?
So if you have a left and a right hand, man, what does that make me? Am I like the third wheel?
I don't
What's going on here?
The idle hand.
What
Idle hand.
was the movie where the comedian grows the arm out of his back?
The Dark Backwards.
Yeah.
That was an odd. You know what? I used to love that movie, but now when I watch it, I'm like, what was I thinking?
I always loved it too. I was so excited once when I saw the used VHS tape at a video store for like $5. Like, oh my god, I love this movie.
Yeah,
And, I haven't watched it for a while,
sometimes-
so I might probably feel the same way that you did.
Sometimes it loses. Things lose their glamour after a while. I do it all the time, like because I'm an avid cartoon fanatic, and I love 80s cartoons, and some of them I will go back and watch today, and I'm like, this entertained me. Like, say, for instance, She-Ra. Okay, I know I did not like He-Man, so I'm an avid watcher of She-Ra, but it's just like every episode is like clips of the first one put together. It's like you watch like the 100th episode. Yeah.
But I actually, I don't think I ever watched a She-Ra show. I'm not trying to be manly here, but I was a big fan of He-Man. I actually still have all the little action figures.
Well, the funny, there was something about He-Man that I just couldn't stand. I don't know. I think something traumatic happened to me during an episode of that or something that just made me, like MASH. Same thing happened with MASH. I hear the theme music, instantly get nauseous.
Yeah, I never understood MASH.
Anyway.
I never understood the popularity of that one either.
Yeah. See,
I like the movie, not a big fan of the show.
We'll bring this all right back to us because I'll say something that still holds up today and I actually enjoyed even more than I did as a kid, and I enjoyed it back then, would be Return of the Living Dead.
Very true.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Return of the Living Dead absolutely does hold up to, movies today. In fact, I'd say it's a lot better than movies today.
Yeah. What do you think about it? That it's kind of almost made a comeback. I mean, people have always liked it, but over the last few years, I think you see even more about the movie.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain because when the movie came out, it didn't do very well. It was not a popular movie, and it just kind of got pushed to the side, so other movies, could rear their ugly heads. And, and with time, it grew. And, I mean, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like 5, and I probably shouldn't be watching movies like that. But, there's a long story to go along with that, but we'll save that for another time. And, so it's really crazy. I think it's so popular because once I think people gave it a chance and opened up, because horror movies really weren't that big, like, back then until I'd say they started making, ground, in my opinion, is the late 80s, early 90s is when they started, becoming huge. And in Return of the Living Dead, there's the characters, especially when I like to call them the kids. There's, like, every character in there is, like, relatable in some way to somebody. Like, so I think there's, no matter who you are, you could watch that movie and relate to one of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and it's just, you know, and people like to watch movies like that, you know, that they can relate to. And even though you're like, oh, yeah, I could be that person, and then a zombie jumps out. And then, you know, it kind of makes it unbelievable but yet exciting all at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it just keeps growing. So, and it's really, and I'm glad that it is, actually. So, you know, that's, you know, why I did the documentary.
Yeah. Actually, you know, when you say about the kids and, you know, some horror movies is just about, you know, young adults. But Return of the Living Dead, yeah, all the kids were really good, but also all, like, the older adult characters are so good. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, Don
no
Calfa,
throwaway characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everyone there is, I mean, that entire cast is so magical, and that's something that I learned when we started filming the documentary. And as you said, you've seen it, so when we were filming it, you know, and I'm watching all these interviews, and it's like I saw the magic that was in the actual movie and the documentary, because everybody just clicks. They have that chemistry, and everyone's energy level and personality is on such different scales. And I think when you have a wide range of that, it just works. Like, it just works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever you see, because we had a lot of people on the show, and then you watch the documentary, and you could just see everyone, they talk about, like, they're so proud of it, they loved it, there's, like, so much passion about it, and I guess that's what made the movie so good. And on part 2, and some of the guys, I mean, they enjoyed making stuff, but if you listen to the commentary track I show on the DVD, it's not on your movie, but like the director, he doesn't seem like he cared at all about the movie, and I kind of think, you know, that's why the second one doesn't live up to the original. Well,
yeah, no, I mean, talking with everyone, Michael Kenworthy and Thom Mathews and Brian Peck and James Karen, I mean, they, you know, I'm skipping on the director's name. Is it Ken Wiederhorn? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Ken Wiederhorn, yeah.
Yeah, you know, everyone said the same thing. Like, he was just so vacant. He wasn't there. Like, he honestly could not care. I mean, he could care less of how the movie turned out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, it was apparently, you know, for Michael Kenworthy, I mean, he probably had the most positive outlook on the film more than anybody, because obviously he was a child actor, and, you know, for a kid, I think that's, you know, something very exciting.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, but for everyone else, like Suzanne Snyder and Thom Mathews, you know, they were just kind of like, you know, especially Thom and James, they're like, why? Why are we here? You know, what's going on? You know, how did we get here? So, you know, but I like part 2. I will admit it. I really do like part 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it too. I just, I think you could. It's not as good as the first one, but you know, that's kind of unfair to say. But on its own, I think it's a good movie.
Well, it was more the first one remade just to be like, it's like the Seinfeld version of the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, they just tried to write the comedy in there when, like I said, when you watch the original, the comedy is just there because of the actors, and you can see that in the documentary. It's like, you know, a lot of people might think that we played editing tricks and this and that, but we really didn't. I mean, that humor was just there. It's in their personality. So, and I think Dan O'Bannon, you know, I really believe that he looked through that camera and he knew what was in front of him. Like, he got it. Like, he saw it, and, you know, a lot of people may have had problems with Dan O'Bannon on the set, but I never got to meet Dan, but personally, I think that he just pushed people to get the best out of them.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool. You have on the specials there the full interview with Dan O'Bannon. Did you said you didn't meet him, but did you guys film that for this documentary, or was that? That
was filmed for the documentary. Yes, absolutely. Yes, that was filmed for the documentary.
Mm. So you guys have been making it for a while then, because you passed away.
No, but like I said, I've been stewing over this the whole process for me has been well over a year. You know, it's been a long time. So, you know, it's something that's been brewing. The actual that footage was shot by Beverly Randolph and Jewel Shepard, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Beverly Randolph is also the co-executive producer, and I know a good friend of yours. And
well, she was executive producer.
Oh, okay.
She is executive producer. I don't want to drag her down on that, so I will throw that out there. She's like the godmother of the film. So it's Tina was probably, again, one of the most memorable characters, of the film. So
yeah, I was actually thinking, in part 2, if they would have brought some of the people back as zombies of the original characters, and that was one person. Can you picture her playing a zombie since she's so sweet, nice?
It would be really hard to picture Beverly Randolph being a zombie. From watching her character in the movie, it would be hard for me personally to picture her as a zombie, but you know what? Knowing Beverly Randolph in person, she's game for anything. So you know what? It could really happen, but it would just be one of those things I never would have thought, but this is so awesome. It would be one of those.
Yeah. I've actually heard, she sent me along some information here that sometimes after conventions that you guys like to get together in a quiet place, relax, have a little party, and one time it was at a closed restaurant in a hotel, and it was you and some of the other Return of the Living Dead members of Mark Patton.
Oh, no. Was she spilling the beans? Oh, my gosh.
And she said that it was wine-induced conversation that happened, and there were some interesting things talked about, and I wonder if you could talk about that.
Well, oh, my gosh. Our conversations went so east to west. It was so random and so just kind of wrong in a way. It was really weird. Everyone had a little bit of, adult beverages in their system, and we were talking about, I don't even want to say it. It's just, let's just say, I'm trying to think of a clinical term for this, but I don't think there is one. But we were talking about how, well, okay, I won't put Beverly on this, but Mark Patton and I were trying to explain to her that men have a prostate, and sometimes when they call milking the prostate, what could happen? So, but I will spare the details. But yes, our we go, when we all see each other at the airport, we're all happy go we're like a big family. I'm glad to be a part of this now. I love and adore every one of them. But the minute we get on that plane, our conversation would go from G rating to XXX. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
But we have a lot of fun together, and that's what matters. We do love going to conventions. We love all getting together, not specifically for work, so, so. And that's why More Brains was a great thing, because we all love being together. Everybody enjoyed coming to the set and seeing everybody. It's another moment that we all get to spend together.
Mm-hmm.
So, everyone was very, even people we interviewed Stacey Q, as you saw. Even she, she's so excited because she finally got to, be a part of Return of the Living Dead history, because a lot of people actually didn't know that Stacey Q was the lead singer of SSQ. And they didn't know that was her, because she went from saying, Tonight We'll Make Love Till We Die, kind of punk, sexy rock, to Two of Hearts. So, it was a big shift there for her in the 80s, so a lot of people didn't know that. And, so even she's been inducted into the Return of the Living Dead family, and we're very proud to have her, and we're a big, happy family, minus Mark Venturini, God rest his soul, but we definitely had to include him in the documentary as well.
Yeah. Did William Munns have any problems talking about his work on the movie?
No, not at all. Actually, Bill Munns was very open to doing this, because you know what? There's a lot of interviews that go around, and the stories have been told many times. For 27 years, the stories have been told how it just didn't work out. You know what? Not everyone can please, you can't please everybody, and he was more than willing to say, yeah, my work wasn't good enough. And he said it right there, I messed up. I got fired. So, he was willing to come in to tell his part of the story, which kind of intertwined with everyone else's stories, because at the end of it, it was all still the same story. No one lied. You know, he was dismissed from the set, you know, and for him, it was a relief. So, so no, absolutely not. He was more than willing to come in for the interview.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the first time I get to see it, but they actually, in the documentary, showed a picture of the infamous yellow corpse, the first go-around, and that was something else.
Well, you know, when I first saw the picture, I literally had to look at it like 4 times because I didn't even know what it was. To me, it looked like one of those Lego men, you know, those little Lego toys. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah. So I was like, what is that? You know, and someone actually had to, like, point out each area of what was supposed to be. And I was like, wow. I was like, well, it's no wonder why everybody got upset, you know. So, you know, it's just one of those things.
Mm-hmm. Now, you know, we've had several people on the show, Beverly Randolph and Brian Peck and other people, and they've talked about having an idea of doing like a sequel that would be like a direct sequel to the first one. And is that still anything you guys ever talk about or think about?
You know what? We all get together and we always talk about it. It's always out there, you know, and the thing is, it's like, maybe it will happen, you know, it could happen sooner than we think, you know. You know, we're all trying to do that secret thing, you know, we put it out in the universe and it's going to happen, you know what I mean? So it would be really great if it did happen because, you know, a lot of people would love to see the original cast together again. You know, it would be pretty awesome to see them all together again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have it, like, how far have the talks gone to see something you guys think would be a good idea? Like, have you ever, like, anyone ever written, like, any ideas down or any, like...
You know what? I think many people have actually written things. You know, the problem is with something like this is you're always going to have issues with rights. Mm-hmm. And that could stop someone dead in their tracks, and something could never see the light of day because of that. So, you know, multiple people have written, you know, things up. I've never read any of it. I've only heard stories, but, you know, hey, why not? I mean, let's do it, you know. So I'm all for it, you know, do it to it. So. Mm-hmm.
You know, along those lines, it was pretty cool. You had John Russo in it because you don't hear from him too often about what he thought of the movie. And did you get the impression that he liked it or he didn't like it, the original movie?
No, he was. You know, he's a very, very sweet and kind man. No, he did. I mean, he did like it. Mm-hmm. You know, he's an absolute fan of the film. Absolute.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting, too. He was done, like, his original ideas for the sequel, and it was a lot different. Did you ever get to, like, read, like, his script or anything?
No, I didn't. No, personally, no, I didn't. Yeah. I'm sure people have, but not me, no.
John, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh. I was just wondering what it was like filming with Clu Gulager.
Oh, my gosh. You know, every film project you have an experience. And I'd have to say that was probably it. Because Clu is a wonderful, wonderful, awesome man. I just adore the ground that he walks on. But he is absolutely, certifiably nuts. And not in a bad way. He is so awesome, like nuts. Like he's one of those characters he's a natural character, and he's very unpredictable, and you never know what Clu Gulager is going to do. And you get to see a little bit of that in the documentary. And, you know, he's just so out there that what you don't know is coming is far anticipated because you know it's going to be something wild, and it was, and he is so awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, he's an amazing person, and it was an experience to actually, you know, get a chance to put him in front of the camera.
Yeah, he didn't throw anything at you or any of the other crew.
Oh no, he didn't throw anything at anybody. He was very content. He was very content sitting there with his split dog. Yeah.
He says he's a professional actor, and he didn't throw anything. And other people said they saw it. What do you think really happened?
Okay, well. In a situation like this, It's like, I don't know. He says he didn't do it. 4 other people say he did. Where would your, belief fall?
Right.
And, and obviously I know Clu from Nightmare on Elm Street as well, working on Never Sleep Again, and the stories he told that, Clu is very, like every time he throws profanity out there, it's because he's trying to think of his line. That's what he does. And, Clu he's a very professional actor. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say Never Sleep Again, which I love too. Between Clu and Mark Patton, the segment of part 2 was like one of the highlights of the whole documentary.
Absolutely. The response from the part 2 segment was really intense for us. Like it was really out there, and people really just really liked it. But no, like I said, Clu states he's a professional actor, and he is. But all of us are professionals at something, and even I've had my moments where I've wanted to throw stuff, and I have. So I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt if it happened. I wouldn't doubt it. I wasn't there, so I'm just gonna form my own opinion and say that it did.
Mm-hmm. I think that movie too, Never Sleep Again, that really helped, get Mark Patton back out there. Because you watch it like, man, this guy's really entertaining, and then he started, popping up everywhere again.
Yeah,
he's one of the nicest guys, too.
Great, it's great, that happened for him, and and he left Hollywood by choice, and coming back for this, I think just kind of opened the window again and showed maybe how much inside he really missed it. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm glad that he's, doing film again, and I'm glad he's got his own documentary in process. And, I'm glad that something that we all did helped something like that happen. That's a good feeling. That means we did our job right.
Mm-hmm. Now, you cover part 3 on the specials on the DVD, and I know actually our friend Ron, that's his favorite film in the franchise. What are your opinions on part 3?
Part 3, actually, I really enjoy for many different reasons. If I'm okay, this is where I'm probably going to lose my horror fan club card, and you guys have every right to revoke it. But I'm really not that. I mean, I like horror movies, but I'm really more of a Julia Roberts kind of guy. I love drama movies.
All right, I'm out of here, guys. Bye-bye. After that,
it's over. It's over. Hey, she did marry Riley. That was great. But yeah. I mean, part 3 was more of a love story, to be honest, and it was kind of like pre-Titanic, Rose and Jack. Uh-huh. It was really good in that sense, and it took the series to another place. Because at that point, once you got bit, you became one of them, and I don't know how that happened, how that turned, but I know it was in their plans to do something different, and I think what they did with Trevor Edmund and Melinda Clarke, those 2 characters, they were really strong actors, and I think they just made a love story out of a horror movie, and I thought that was fantastic. It was it was like a Romeo and Juliet. Like, it was the only way they could be together was in death. Mm-hmm. It was pretty intense. So I'm actually a fan of the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a lot of people, like I said, that's their favorite one of all of them. But there was some funny parts too in Slim Yourself Up Part 3, especially the guy who played the zombie at the beginning, Clarence, and I didn't know he was like a homeless guy that they found and put in the movie.
I think that's a trend in the Return of the Living Dead series, because the midget in the first film was a homeless guy.
Right.
So it's like, I think they were just holding up tradition.
Brian Peck shows up in all of them, and Brian Peck's a big part of the documentary, and he's just a fun guy. And what's it like work with Brian Peck?
oh my God, what's it like to work with Brian Peck? I don't know if there are words to describe. He's one of those guys who's he's so entertaining in himself that, I mean, he's got so many stories from everything he's worked on that it's not hard to have a good time with Brian. He was our set designer. So everything you see in the background, like Brian Peck, like 90% of that was him. And, you know, he's our narrator. So he was just all on board to do this, and I'm glad to have him. And it's an amazing experience to, you know, work with Brian Peck. I can't say anything other than that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And he seemed I think he had a great line there, too, when he said some people, you know, dreamt to be like a big Shakespearean actor, and he dreamt, you know, he always wanted to ride a horse or, you know, fight zombies. And you could tell how much fun he had just talking about him.
Yeah, I mean, no, yeah, absolutely. Everybody, you know, the thing about everybody was truly honest through the whole thing, you know. I appreciated that from every person, that they didn't. Some people will have a tendency in these retrospectives to come on and say, "Oh, this was a great time. This was a great time. Everyone was wonderful. This was perfect, and that was wonderful, and it was amazing." When actually it was the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really happy that everyone came on board very open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, I couldn't have asked for anything more from any of them, and that's just them. They just did it because I mean, what are they going to do? They're like family. They're not going to hate each other for whatever they say about each other or about the producers or the director. You know, it's just, you know, it was what it was, and I'm glad that people can be so honest.
Mm-hmm. John, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any involvement with His Name is Jason.
You know what? His Name was Jason was before me. Great documentary, but before me. But that's actually around the time that I met Tommy Hudson, right when that came out. And at that point, you know, obviously he gave me a copy of the movie, and I saw how wonderful, you know, how an amazing producer he is. Writer and producer. Tommy is at the top of the list. He writes $1 million, what am I trying to say? He's just, I mean, he projects so much. He's very intelligent and very involved and very creative and very wonderful person. And, you know, he makes every project that he's on as perfect and as wonderful as they are. So I'd have to say, from the ones that I've worked on with Tommy, they are amazing because of him.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you knew Thom Mathews wasn't in that one.
Thom actually was asked to do it, but they had conflicting schedules, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, sometimes with these retrospectives, it's like we do plan them out with time, but, you know, somebody can't say, I'm going to be available 7 weeks ahead, you know, from today. You know, it's really hard for actors or anyone who owns a company or anything like that to say that. So, you know, there have been times when, unfortunately, we haven't been able to get people for things because of time conflictions.
Mm. Did you try to get Ken Wiederhorn to be part of it?
Ken Wiederhorn was actually, I believe he was out of the country. He was in New York, but I believe he was leaving the country, so we were unfortunately unable to get anything from him.
Yeah. And I know you told me you tried to get some people for part 4 and 5, and you didn't find too many people that were interested in doing it?
Well, you know, a lot of people were unavailable, and a lot of people didn't really want to talk about it. And that's an issue for them, and we have to respect that. I personally, I haven't seen 4 and 5. I have no opinion on them. But, you know, from a couple people that were involved with them, they just didn't feel like talking about them anymore.
Yeah. Even if they're not the best, it's always interesting to see what, you know, people, you thought about it and what the, you know, thought and involvement was going into it. Would have been good.
Yeah.
Do you have any ones planned after this one?
You know, right now, I've got some ideas floating. I'm actually going to be with the release of this today, we're going to be busy with this for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I've got some other things planned going on for me, more musically than anything. But you know what? I will never get tired of doing documentaries because I'm a documentary fanatic. I love watching them and making them. I get to learn even more than what you actually get to see. So, hey, the sky's the limit. I mean, anything is possible. So I feel like they're. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what would you like to see documentaries on?
Yeah, well, not just here though. I really want to say, anybody out there, Never Sleep Again is just awesome. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and More Brains is right up there with it. It's just so much fun to watch, and like we said a bunch of times, you can see everyone love them so much. But John, what were some franchises?
I think Child's Play would be a pretty cool one.
I actually thought about that. Actually, that did come across.
Yeah.
I do know a bunch of stars from those films. I asked a good friend of mine, Christina Lease. I asked her, I was like, would you be willing to talk about it? She was like, oh my God, yeah. So people are always willing to talk about, these projects, these films that, most likely happened at the beginning of their career, that got them started. And without these movies, it's like, where would they be? They wouldn't have had the opportunities that they've had, and they show a lot of respect, and they thank the fans for, following their careers because of these movies. So, I mean, you never know. Like I said, the sky's the limit. Child's Play could happen. Absolutely.
I'd like to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That would be a good one.
Yeah, a lot of, what, actually we got a movie review, and someone actually said that. They're like, this is an amazing documentary, More Brains is amazing, you must get it. Now, will the producers please focus on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? So, it's definitely asked for. It's out there, so, you never know.
Mm-hmm. If you got Vigo for that one, I think you would be the man.
Well, you know what? We strive to make them as definitive as possible. So, anything and anyone involved is, our goal. And you can see that with More Brains. There's not one person missing.
Yeah.
Except for Mark Venturini, who unfortunately had died, and and even we got Dan O'Bannon. So, we make them as definitive as possible.
Yeah.
I'd just like to hear some of his views on Part 3, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's funny. Who in Part 2 wasn't that Matthew McConaughey and Jennifer Aniston?
That's Part 4, I think.
Yeah.
Was that 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I saw that one, and I was just, I was like, why am I watching this? Like, to me, it was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what is this train wreck of a movie that I'm watching? I can't believe at the time, $5 VHS for 2 days. I was like, really? I spent my allowance, watching this movie, and it was horrible. It was a train wreck. And, what did you guys feel about the remake? Because I actually liked the remake.
Yeah, I liked it too. I know John's not a big fan of it, but I liked the remake. I wasn't too crazy over the prequel of the remake. I think the problem was, if you're gonna remake a movie, you probably shouldn't maim or cut the arm off of your big villain at the end and kill off one of the other characters, and it really made it hard to make a sequel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, in the remake, it wasn't it'll never stand up to the original, obviously. But, for remakes that are going on these days, I'd have to say that one probably gives some of the franchise a run for their money. People who've tried to make a Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and, all these reboots that, I feel like that's probably been the best one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that one, I like The Hills Have Eyes, but, the Nightmare on Elm Street one, that was probably the worst one, in my opinion.
I've boycotted it. I refuse to watch it.
Yeah. I was actually kind of looking forward to it, but I went and saw it at the theater, and I was not impressed.
See, to me, because I've been so involved with the Nightmare on Elm Street people for so many years of my life now, and some of them have become, very good friends of mine, like Tuesday Night, she was actually called to do a cameo in it, and she was like, really? Wow, that's cool. So she calls Wes Craven, hey, do you have anything to do with this? And he was like, no, absolutely not. And she's like, what about Bob? He's like, no. So really, to me, that movie is a slap in the face to Bob Shea and all the hard work that man has put into that franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So I refuse to watch it.
I think zombies,
shame on you, Warner Brothers. That's what I got to say.
Like reboot.
Yeah, I like the Rob Zombie Halloween too.
I think that one.
You know, okay, the first one to me was not bad. Like, I got it. I kind of liked the little backstory that he put into it. Mm-hmm. You know, that was fine. The second one,
with the
wait, can I swear? Can I swear?
Yeah,
can I swear?
Mm-hmm.
The second one scared the shit out of me. I couldn't even finish it. I could not finish. I mean, the whole movie was so violent. I mean, the way that dude, whoever was playing Michael Myers, walked, the way he stabbed people, just scared the living shit. And I'm a huge fan of the Halloween series. I love the Halloween series. And when I don't know what was happening because it's been so long since it scared me. I think it was like last Halloween. It was the part when somebody was dreaming and it was White and his mom and there was a horse and he comes busting out of the table. Do you know what part I'm talking about?
I only saw it the once, but I remember the white horse and stuff. I was just thinking, well, what is going on in this movie? But.
Well, it was a scene where it was really quiet, and I think it was the girl who was playing Lori. I think someone was dreaming. I think she was dreaming.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
was her
quite
dream
sure.
at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, like the first 20 minutes is just the whole dream. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really quiet, and then he comes busting up out of a table, and after the nice close-up of the table, scared like heart failure. I could not watch anymore after that. I was like, I can't do it. I had to shut it off because it was so scary to me. So if that was his goal, then he completely hit it bullseye. It was scary, buddy. And, you know, everyone forewarned me about it, too. Even Sybil Danning, you know, who made a, guest appearance in the first one. She was invited to the premiere, and she was just like, I watched it with my eyes closed. Because it was so gory from beginning to end, and it was. Yeah. Absolutely. It was very gory. And I'm not much into the gore, which is why I kind of like the cheesy 80s horrors like Nightmare on Elm Street slasher flicks, because, you know, it's like someone gets killed, it's gross for a second, and then it's done. But now it's like Hostel and Saw and all these other movies, like everything is like, I'm going to, cut your throat open and take 30 minutes to do it so everyone can see how disgusting it is. Yeah. So that's why I don't watch new horror movies too much.
I think John's right with you on that one.
We're on the same page on that one.
Well, when I watch a movie and I have to spit out my popcorn because what I'm watching is disgusting, that's too much. You're pushing it there. You're doing way too much. So... Yeah.
I would not recommend Human Centipede 2, which I watched yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Not if you're disgusted by movies.
No, I have a weak stomach. I have a very weak stomach.
There's not really much blood in it. It's I guess it's just like a shitty mess of a movie, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Well, I will definitely keep it out of my Netflix. How about that?
Yeah. But you're safe with the first one. The first Human Centipede, you're safe with.
Yeah, actually, it's really not very graphic at all. It's more in your head. But that second one, I don't know. I guess if you've been dying to see a movie where it's not really bloody, but there's poop flying around everywhere, that's the movie for you.
That's your movie, then.
I don't know who's been dying to see that.
I don't think that feeling's ever gone through my head.
Wow. Well, if anybody wants to watch a movie where there's nothing but poo, I guess you can watch Dumb and Dumberer.
Yeah. That's a lot tamer.
Good point. Yeah, the first one's more like a mad scientist movie. It's actually a really good
movie. And you got Dieter Laser's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's the king in that movie.
Yeah.
Another movie everyone's been trying to get me to watch, but I can't do it, is Insidious, because I can't do the ghost, spirits, haunting kind of thing. That really, really bothers me. I can't even watch Poltergeist.
Oh.
Okay?
It's got some jump out of your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not...
It's not gore or anything, but it really is a scary film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my friend Lynn's in it, and she was like, Mikey, you should go see it. I'm like, I don't think that I can, Lynn. I'm sorry. I know you're in it all, no offense, but do your thing, but I can't watch this movie.
Yeah. I really dug that. It wasn't like a huge budget, I don't think, and I didn't even notice I'm watching it, and it was rated PG-13. But I think it showed that you can make a scary movie that's so PG-13 and it's not childish.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of movies really just take it to the limit. I mean, you can make a scary movie not rated R. I mean, there are plenty of them out there that aren't rated R. But these days the MPAA is like so. I mean, if someone throws up on screen, you get a rated R. So it's everybody's quite sensitive these days. Yeah. Apparently.
I want to bring up something too. You said a while ago was you saw Return of the Living Dead when you were 5. Did you watch a lot of horror movies back then, or was this
well, my first horror movie I ever saw was Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and that's how crazy my life has been. When I was really I was 4 or 5. No, I was 5. I was around 5 or 6 when that came out, to be honest. I saw Return of the Living Dead about the same time. The Nightmare on Elm Street 4 plays a huge part of my life, especially becoming friends with Tuesday Night. But when I saw, I know I didn't watch a lot of movies, to answer your question, a lot of horror movies. I was a child. I was interested in cartoons. I was watching Ninja Turtles, Jem and the Holograms. I was, playing with action figures. I didn't think about this stuff, but that night that I watched Return of the Living Dead was one of the funniest moments of my life, but I'll never forget it, nor will my parents, because I snuck downstairs, I learned how to use a satellite dish, and I just was turning the channels randomly, and it stopped on Return of the Living Dead. So I started watching it, scared the crap out of me. Instead of going upstairs and waking up my mom because I was in fear of getting in trouble for being downstairs when I shouldn't have been, I did the worst thing and called 911 because I thought there were zombies in my house. So I hid under the sink and called 911. The police start banging. It was horrible, horrible, horrible situation. So at that point, because both my stepfather and then when my father remarried my stepmother, both of my step-parents were horror fanatics. So they sat me down and were like, okay, this stuff is not real. It is fake. It was explained to me. Therefore, at that point, it never affected me. Like, they really didn't scare me. The only movies that scare me are the Halloween series. Michael Myers scares the shit out of me. Today, I can't watch it by myself.
Yeah. And then years later, who thought you'd be making a documentary about the movie?
That's what I'm saying. It's really weird how life comes. I don't even want to say full circle because I'm so far from being finished in life, but when Nightmare on Elm Street came on, I remember I was sitting at the kitchen table. I was playing with my action figures, He-Man action figures, and I heard the opening credits song to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, which was performed by Tuesday Night, but I didn't know that at the time. I was 5 or 6. I mean, who pays attention to who's singing what? And I heard the music, and I was like, who is that with the voice of an angel? And at that point in my life, just hearing the song made me want to be a singer, so that's what I've, strived for. Number one, first and foremost in my life. And later on, when I started getting interested in reading the liner notes, I realized it was sung by Tuesday Night. I was like, Tuesday Night, that's the girl who plays Kristen in the movie. So I thought that was kick-ass. And I told my father, you see that girl? I'm going to party with that girl. I'm going to sing with that girl. And I'm going to be best friends with that girl. And of course, my father shrugs his shoulders and says, shut up. Because it's like, it's unrealistic. And then 20 years later, I'm calling him on the phone and I'm like, Dad, guess who I'm at a party with right now? He's like, who? And I'm like, Tuesday Night. And he's like, who? And I, of course, I have to remind him. And, and he's just like, oh my God, are you serious? And then when we became like best friends, he's just like, he goes, boy, when you say something, you really mean it. And I've always been that way. When I put my mind to something, I commit. And, make it 100%, and that's what we did with this film, the spin-off into Back to More Brains, It goes to show, and, Beverly, Randolph, and I have been best friends for going on 5 years now, so I have a really good group of people that I call my best friends, there's about 5 of them, and Beverly's definitely one of those, and so is Tommy Hudson, and that's why I think this, and we're all very business oriented. We all know how to get things done. We as fans also want to make everything look the best that we can do. So that's why I think More Brains is going to be, I'm from my lips to God, a big success. It's doing really well. We've been doing great during our pre-launch, and then today has just been wonderful. It's been a wonderful, wonderful day. Many phone calls congratulating me, and it's been a blessing to have these people. So it's really weird that how horror has kind of taken over my life. It's weird. I mean, did you think that you were going to be running a radio show?
No.
Having horror guests? And
right.
all of you guys. I mean, did you think it was going to happen?
No. I was actually voted most quiet in my yearbooks.
Although Neil did have a complete collection of He-Man figures as well.
Exactly.
Did you find that they were so not very fun because they didn't move as well as the toys today?
Yeah, I always thought the G.I. Joes had the best movement because they had the rubber band in them and their arms.
And their knees bent too. I was like, what's going on here? I can't make my guy run like he's got broken legs and they're on, it's just, so, but you know what, I
really think today they make action figures just for adults who used to play with them, and we can just collect them.
I wish I kept
the
mine.
McFarlane ones are like that. You can't actually play with them. They just exist.
Well, no, and that's the funny. Have you guys seen I Am Nancy? I mean, I know you had her on the show. Did you watch I Am Nancy?
Oh yeah.
Did you not love the part where she's ripping open the Freddy doll?
That was
And the reactions from the other fans are like, "Oh my God, what is she doing? Has she lost her mind? Is she, because to her, that was the focus of the film. It's like she doesn't, she was trying to understand why it is such a huge Freddy phenomena, and so that's exactly how, much she knew about it. Is like she would just rip it open because to her, you buy a toy, you want to open it up and play with it.
Yep.
So that, I mean, just to go off on that a little bit, I'm a little bit everywhere tonight.
That's how we are every show. But I had mentioned to her too. All her figures, all the Nancy figures, didn't move whatsoever. They were just stationary.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It's why would you do that?
Yeah, how would you
figure? I suppose.
Yeah, but it just sat there.
Yeah.
More like a statue.
Well, I mean, I guess for her sake, it's a good thing with that bathtub one because I mean, if you were able to pull her out, what would she be wearing? So I guess maybe in a way that was a good thing, because it's funny when she asked that question, she's like, "Is he burned under there? Is he burned everywhere?" And it's like, well, Heather, people might be asking you what you're wearing in that bathtub, so maybe it's a good thing that you don't come out of it.
Exactly. We didn't even bring up a lot of the names that are in the Get More Brains. There's so many people. Linnea Quigley's in it, Alan Troutman, and mentioned Michael Kenworthy, and just everybody from the movie.
Yeah, we definitely put it out there. I mean, the first one was absolutely our priority. And like I said, we did everything. I mean, when we use definitive, we mean it, because at this point, obviously we knew that Mark Venturini had passed away many years ago. So we did a search for his family members, and we found his brother. And he was just so on board to, help us out and get us photos of Mark and talk to us stories about Mark and how he was so proud of what he did and so I mean, yeah, and to have Stacy Q in there, I mean, it's just we really went for it, and it worked out in our favor because this is such a loved movie, and people realize that now, 27 years later, so they were obviously all on board to talk about it. I mean, It was It was fantastic, and I mean, I'd have to say to this date, I'm probably more proud of this project than any other project I've ever worked on. You know, it's beautifully shot. You know, everyone did such a great job. Every aspect of it is, to me, is amongst perfection.
Even little background things are cool. Like a little green smoke coming out of the thing, and you even had the eye chart. It said on the eye chart just like it was in the original movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have to thank Mr. Brian Peck for all that. You know, he's a very attention to detail man there. You know, he'd be like, "Oh, wait, we got to have this and we got to have that." You know, so he was right there to guide us and to make a magical piece of film that could be considered part of the amazing Return of the Living Dead legacy. And I'm now, forever, and will always be happy to be a part of that. I thought, at once, I thought the book was going to be as far as I was going to go. Mm-hmm. I was really thrilled when I got a half a page in the book, and, it's like, who wants to hear what I have to say? And, I was just like, I'm just the publicist at this point, and then I took it a step further and, and decided to do this, and I was really surprised how for it everybody was, and I mean, I have to say, everyone gave a great interview because everybody's different. Mm-hmm. Everyone's personality showed, and John Philbin is a nut, and I love him. And Beverly Randolph, best friend, but as an actress, she's amazing. She's an amazing actress, and she gave a great interview, and she has great stories, and, and even though it was not the best time for her, she still cherishes that moment in her life when she got to do this movie, and you only have to applaud her for that. Mm-hmm. She's very proud of the Return of the Living Dead film. She's very, very proud of it, and between her and I mean, we definitely want to keep it alive forever. We don't ever want anyone to not see this or let it disappear. We're not about that. So if we have anything to do about it, it won't happen.
Yeah. I was going to mention Gary Smart's illustrations are always really awesome.
Oh, my gosh, yes, Gary. Not only is he a great writer, look at the book, for one. He and Christian did such a great job on the book. They did a great job on the documentary, and then when we were, figuring out what we were going to do to give it that little something, something different, bring it new and fresh, and Tommy Hudson was like, we need to do animation. That's what we need to do. And surprisingly enough, Gary sends us some animation. We're like, really? You can do this? And he was like, yeah, I can do this. I did that in 5 minutes. And we were like, can you do about 100 of them? And, so, everyone really went 150% on this, despite job descriptions or anything. Everyone really went the limit to making this the best, so... Yeah, the animation's great. I love the animation.
Yeah, that's just I can't put it over enough. Like, not just because you're here, I think everyone should really check it out and getmorebrains.com. And I talk to Mark Patton all the time, and we just saw him at Rock and Shock, and I don't know what he'll think when I tell him what we talked about Mark Patton tonight on the show.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, like I said, we all have a good time. We love getting together. And it's not just, and it's not, like I said, it's not just the Return of the Living Dead family. It's a lot of the people who do shows, we've all grown close, and we've all, become really good friends, and we just love seeing each other. It's like, I was never a fan of family reunions. That was not for me. I avoided it at all costs. I still do. These are family reunions that I definitely look forward to because I get to see the people who not only at some point maybe admired in my life growing up, but especially Mark Patton and Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean. That was an amazing movie. Mark is this brilliant actor, and he's such an inspiration, especially in that film, and Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as well. But it's So I get to spend time with these people, get to know them. It's the best time in the world. You guys know this. You get to go to the shows. You get to hang out. You get to interview people. So you know what I'm talking about. It's a family thing. It's like family. There's no drama. Everybody's happy. You know, it's a wonderful time, and I look forward. And actually, you know, I'm actually going back home to my hometown this weekend to the Kalamazoo, Michigan Horror Fest, and it's the first time I've been back home in quite a while, you know, and now I'm coming back to, you know, show the art, the music, the films, everything that I've worked on, television, everything, and it's a really scary moment for me, but it's also very exciting. I don't, you know, I'm very proud to be bringing more brains around and doing, you know, all kinds of appearances because I'm very, very proud of it. Very, very proud.
You should be. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and also, I'm also going to put out there that everyone can order the copy of the film at getmorebrains.com, and on the website only, you get a free limited edition poster designed by Carl Ramsey, who was the original Return of the Living Dead cover art poster designer. And the poster will be signed by Beverly Randolph, James Karen, and Brian Peck. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, $19.95, free shipping. The poster will ship later than the film, though, because of timely matters. We want to make sure we can get everybody's autograph, and unfortunately, Mr. Karen is off out of the country, and he won't be back for a few more days, and then he'll sign everything when he gets back, and then we'll start shipping them out. So I just want people to know that it's okay when you get your DVD and there's no poster, don't freak out. It's good. So it's coming. It's coming. So, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Have you all three seen it?
Just me, I think.
Yeah.
But
okay. Well, I mean,
I'm going to have to get me a copy off the website.
Yeah.
I need that poster.
I'm gonna let Troy here borrow mine, but actually, we live in Massachusetts and John's in West Virginia, so we're a little far apart.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I really hope you guys enjoy it. I mean, I watched this film when it was the rough cuts. I watched this film when there was no music. I watched the film when there was music and it didn't work. I watched this film when the music, I've watched it over and over and over again, and I don't get tired of it. You know, it's just a wonderful documentary, and I'm so glad that it's finally out now today officially, and that it's available for everyone to watch.
Mm-hmm. Now, I like that your documentaries, you know, there's a lot to them. They're not just like, you know, half hour, an hour. I mean, you got all these interviews, and you know, it's really in depth with everybody.
Well, you know, that's the thing. Because of my love for documentaries, I guess that helps in a way. Because I tend to watch the Bio Channel a lot. I watch True Hollywood Stories. I watch National Geographic's biographies. And it's like there's so much I want to know that they never cover on certain subjects. And the reason that is because, you know what, they have these people who don't care. You know, they're just putting this together. It's like, oh, this is my job and this is what I'm going to do. When you get people who love the movie, like Never Sleep Again, everyone involved in that movie loved that entire franchise. So therefore, when a fan is doing it at a fan perspective, you're going to get what you want to see. You know, we've heard and we've witnessed what people want to see for each one of these, and we're determined to cover it. And, you know, and I think that's where it gets so different. And with each one we do, we get better. So, you know, it's, all of us we couldn't be happier. We couldn't be happier with the outcome.
Yeah. Well, man, we want to thank you for coming on tonight. I didn't ask you how long you wanted to be on, but hopefully you're all right with an hour.
No. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I love, you know, not only talking about my project, but I love just randomly talking. That's me. I'm very random, as you've heard the backstories. But yeah, I mean, definitely, when you have Mark Patton on, get the rest out of him.
Oh, man, that was good stuff.
But thank you so much for having me on, you guys. You guys always rock. I love the art. I love your show. And my PR firm, you guys are like at the top of my list for radio interviews.
Oh, awesome. We appreciate it, man.
So, you know, you guys rock. So I got to give you a shout out for that.
Thanks, man.
Hi, this is Beverly Randolph, and you're listening to Without Your Head Horror Radio.